Hold up, stop everything you're doing right now. Rasheeda Frost just walked in on her husband Kirk, with another woman. Again, but this time, it's not some random side chick from the club. This time it's someone close. Someone who's been in their circle for years. And the video evidence? It's blowing up every group chat in Atlanta. Rasheeda is done. She's screaming, she's crying, she's throwing Kirk's clothes out the mansion window at 3 a.m. while the neighbors film it on their Ring cameras. The same Rasheeda who stood by Kirk through the baby mama drama, the cheating scandals, the fake divorces, she's finally reached her breaking point. And just when you think this marriage is over for good, Mona Scott-Young herself steps in. Yes, the boss, the creator, the woman who built the entire love and hip-hop empire is personally flying into Atlanta because she refuses to let her biggest power couple implode on camera. Sources say Mona walked straight into their mansion with a bottle of wine in one hand and a stack of therapy contracts in the other. She looked Rasheeda dead in the eyes and said, "Baby, we're not losing this storyline, or this marriage." What happens next is pure chaos. Rasheeda is torn between walking away forever and fighting for the man she's loved for over 20 years. Kirk is on his knees begging, swearing this time it's different. And the rest of the cast? They're picking sides, spilling tea, and turning this into the messiest season yet. Is this the end of #Team Rasheeda Kirk? Or is Mona about to pull off the biggest reality TV miracle of all time? You're not ready for what's coming. Trust me, stick around, because this story is about to get way uglier, and way more emotional than you ever imagined. The lights in the Frost mansion are dimmed low, but the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Rasheeda stands in the middle of the master bedroom, barefoot on the plush carpet, staring at the phone screen that just shattered her world for the second time in 5 years. The video is grainy, shot from someone's hidden camera angle, but there's no mistaking it. Kirk Frost, her husband of over 2 decades, laughing, touching, kissing another woman in the back of their own Range Rover parked behind a popular Midtown lounge. And that woman? It's not a stranger. It's Jasmine, the stylist who's been doing Rasheeda's hair and wardrobe for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta shoots for the last 3 seasons. The same Jasmine who hugged Rasheeda at Christmas dinner last year and called her, "Sis." The betrayal hits like a freight train. Rasheeda's hands are shaking so bad the phone slips and clatters to the floor. She doesn't even bend to pick it up. Instead, she turns slowly toward the bathroom door where Kirk is stepping out, towel around his waist, still humming some old R&B track like nothing happened. He freezes when he sees her face. "Baby, what's wrong?" he asks, voice too calm, too practiced. "Don't baby me," Rasheeda snaps, voice cracking like glass. "I just watched you fuck my stylist in our car. You think I'm stupid, Kirk? You really think I'm that damn stupid?" Kirk's mouth opens, closes, opens again. He tries the classic move, steps forward with hands up like he's calming a wild animal. "Let me explain. It ain't what it looked like, it looked like exactly what it is," Rasheeda screams, voice echoing off the high ceilings. She grabs the nearest thing, a crystal vase full of fresh white roses, and hurls it at the wall behind him. Shards explode everywhere. Kirk ducks. "You promised me, after the last time, after the baby mama drama, after you swore on our kids' lives that you were done. You looked me in my eyes and lied." Kirk drops to his knees right there on the broken glass, towel slipping, not even caring. "Rasheeda, please. I messed up. I know I messed up bad. But I love you. You know I love you. This was a mistake. A stupid, drunk mistake." "Drunk?" Rasheeda laughs, but it's bitter, hollow. "You weren't drunk when you texted her at 2 a.m. last week saying you couldn't wait to feel her again." "I saw the messages too, Kirk. I saw everything." The room goes dead quiet except for Rasheeda's ragged breathing. She starts pacing, hands in her hair, pulling at the roots like she's trying to rip the pain out. "I gave you everything. My youth, my career. I carried your babies. I stood by you when the blogs were dragging you, when fans were calling you trash, when even my own mama said I should leave. And this is how you repay me? By screwing someone who smiles in my face every Monday during Glam." Kirk crawls forward on his knees, glass cutting into his skin, little red trails appearing on the carpet. "I'll end it, right now. I'll call her, block her, fire her, whatever you want. Just don't leave me, Sheeda. Please don't leave me." Rasheeda stops pacing and looks down at him. For a second her eyes soften, the same eyes that used to light up when he walked into a room. But then she remembers the video, remembers Jasmine's laugh, remembers how Kirk's hand looked on Jasmine's thigh. The softness vanishes. "Get out," she whispers. "What? Get out of my house." Kirk's face crumples. He's crying now, big ugly sobs. "This is our house. We built this together. Not anymore." Rasheeda walks to the closet, yanks open the double doors, and starts throwing his designer clothes onto the floor. Gucci belts, Balenciaga sneakers, Versace shirts. "Take your shit and go." Kirk stands up slowly, towel barely hanging on, blood dripping from his knees. "I'm not leaving you like this. Not tonight. You already left me the minute you touched her," Rasheeda says, voice eerily calm now. She grabs an armful of his clothes and marches to the balcony doors, flings them open, and starts hurling everything over the railing. Shirts flutter down like dark confetti into the swimming pool below. Sneakers splash. A Rolex he bought her for their anniversary sails through the air and disappears into the bushes. Neighbors' lights start flicking on. Someone's already outside with their phone up, filming. Within minutes the clip is circulating, hashtag Rasheeda throw out Kirk trending before sunrise. Inside, Rasheeda collapses onto the bed, face in her hands. She's not crying anymore, she's just empty. The kind of empty that comes after you've screamed until your throat is raw and there's nothing left to feel. Cut to 3 hours later. Dawn is breaking, pink light creeping through the curtains. Rasheeda is still on the bed, curled in a ball, when her phone buzzes. It's Mona Scott Young, not her assistant, not production, Mona herself. Rasheeda answers on the third ring, voice hoarse. Mona? Girl, I just saw the videos. I'm on a jet from New York right now. Don't do anything crazy until I get there. It's over, Mona. I can't do this anymore. Mona's voice is firm, no nonsense. Nothing is over until I say it's over. You hear me? We built this empire on real love, real pain, real comebacks. You and Kirk are the heart of love and hip-hop. Fans need to see this fight. They need to see you win. And baby, you're gonna win. But you gotta trust me. Rasheeda sniffles. He cheated with Jasmine. My Jasmine. Mona lets out a long sigh. I know. Production already pulled Jasmine off set. She's gone. But listen, Kirk is downstairs in the guest house crying like a baby. He called me first. Begged me to talk to you. He's scared, Sheeda. Really scared. Good. He should be. Maybe. But you love him. And he loves you. I've watched you two for years. This ain't new. Y'all have survived worse. Not like this. Exactly like this, Mona says. And every time you came back stronger. Ratings went through the roof. Marriages got repaired on camera. Families healed. That's what we do. Now dry your face, take a shower, and meet me at the airport in 4 hours. I'm bringing my whole crisis team, therapists, lawyers, PR, the works. We're saving this marriage, Rasheeda. On camera. And it's gonna be the most watched season finale in franchise history. Rasheeda is quiet for a long beat. Then, softly. You really think we can fix this? I know we can. But only if you show up ready to fight. Not just for Kirk. For you. For your kids. For your legacy. You ready? Rasheeda wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. I don't know. Then fake it till you make it. That's what queens do. I'll see you soon. The call ends. Rasheeda stares at the ceiling. Outside, birds are starting to sing like nothing happened. But everything has happened. And nothing will ever be the same. Downstairs in the guest house, Kirk is sitting on the edge of the couch, head in his hands, phone blowing up with notifications. His boys are texting, Scrappy, Lil Scrappy, even Stevie J, telling him he's an idiot, telling him to man up, telling him to fight. But Kirk can't move. All he can see is Rasheeda's face when she threw that vase. All he can hear is her voice saying, get out. He dials Jasmine. It rings once. She answers, voice small. Kirk, it's over, he says flatly. You're fired. Don't come back to set. Don't text me. Don't call me. We're done. But you said, I said a lot of things I shouldn't have. Goodbye, Jasmine. He hangs up. Then he blocks her. Deletes the thread. Deletes the app. Then he drops the phone and puts his head back in his hands. He doesn't know Mona is already in the air, plotting the biggest redemption arc Atlanta has ever seen. He doesn't know that cameras are about to roll on the most raw, most painful, most explosive moments of their lives. All he knows is that if he loses Rasheeda for good this time, nothing else matters. The sun is fully up now. The city is waking. And the Frost marriage is hanging by the thinnest thread imaginable. But Mona Scott Young is coming. And when Mona steps in, nothing stays broken for long. The Frost mansion feels like a war zone by mid-morning. Broken glass still glitters on the bedroom floor, clothes float in the pool like drowned dreams, and the air smells faintly of roses and regret. Rasheeda hasn't slept. She's showered, changed into a simple white tank and leggings, nothing glamorous, nothing for the cameras yet, but her eyes are red-rimmed and swollen. She sits at the kitchen island staring at a cup of coffee that's gone cold. Her phone keeps buzzing. Notifications from friends, family, fans. Most are supportive. Some are savage. Leave his ass, you deserve better. This is why I stopped watching. Y'all stay toxic. She doesn't respond to any of them. The front gate buzzer sounds. Security calls up. Ms. Frost, Mona Scott Young's car just pulled in. She's got 3 people with her. Rasheeda exhales slow. Let them in. Minutes later the front door opens and Mona strides through like she owns the place, which, in a way, she kind of does when the cameras roll. She's in all black, tailored blazer, skinny jeans, red bottom heels clicking on the marble. Behind her, Drive. Jeff, the franchise's go-to couples therapist with his calm brown eyes and ever-present notepad. Tamara, Mona's PR crisis manager who's handled everything from Scrappy's arrests to Yandy's contract wars, and a young producer named Kai carrying 2 iced lattes and a tablet already open to shooting schedules. Mona doesn't waste time on pleasantries. She walks straight to Rasheeda, pulls her into a tight hug. You look like hell, baby. But you're still beautiful. Rasheeda manages a weak laugh that turns into a sob halfway through. Mona holds her tighter. We got you. All of us. Now where's Kirk? Guest house. Probably still crying. Mona nods to Kai. Go get him. Tell him it's not optional. Kai disappears. Mona guides Rasheeda to the living room couch, the same sectional where they filmed so many confessionals, so many makeup moments. Dr. Jeff sits across from them. Tamara stands by the window, already texting furiously to control the narrative leaking online. First things first, Mona says, voice low but commanding. We're filming today. Not a full scene yet, just talking heads, maybe a confrontation if it feels organic. But we need raw emotion. Fans eat that up. Rasheeda shakes her head. I don't want cameras in my face right now, Mona. I can barely breathe, I know. But hiding won't fix this. It'll just let the blogs write the story for you. You want Jasmine and whoever else to control how this ends? Or you want to take the power back? Rasheeda looks away. I want my marriage back. But I don't know if I can trust him again. Mona squeezes her hand. Then we figure that out on camera. Together. That's what makes it real. The sliding door opens. Kirk walks in, still in yesterday's clothes, eyes bloodshot, beard scruffy. He looks 10 years older. When he sees Rasheeda he stops dead. Sheeda, she doesn't look at him. Just stares at her hands. Mona stands up. Kirk, sit. Now. He obeys like a child caught stealing. Sits on the opposite couch. Dr. Jeff clears his throat. Kirk, why don't you start by telling Rasheeda, without excuses, what happened? Kirk swallows hard. I was weak. Jasmine and I started talking more during fittings. It was flirting at first. Then texts. Then, more. I told myself it didn't mean anything. That it was just attention. But it turned into something. I crossed lines I swore I'd never cross again. And I'm sorry, Sheeda. I'm so damn sorry. Rasheeda finally looks up. Tears spill immediately. Sorry ain't enough this time. You didn't just cheat. You cheated with someone I trusted. Someone who knew our kids' names, who sat at our table. How'd I ever look at another stylist, another friend, without wondering? Kirk leans forward. I'll do whatever it takes. Counseling every day. Phone transparency. No more late nights. I'll quit the show if you want. No, Mona cuts in sharp. Nobody's quitting. We finish the season. We show the work. The healing. That's the deal. Dr. Jeff nods. Kirk, what's the deepest thing you're afraid of losing here? Kirk's voice cracks. Her. The family. The life we built. I know I don't deserve it after this. But I can't imagine breathing without her. Rasheeda wipes her face. You should have thought about that before you put your hands on her. Silence stretches. Heavy. Painful. Mona breaks it. Okay, cameras are outside. We're gonna bring them in slow. First just you two talking. No crew in the room yet. Just the two of you. Say what you need to say. Scream if you have to. Cry. Whatever. Then we'll build from there. Rasheeda hesitates. Looks at Kirk. Something flickers in her eyes. Anger, love, exhaustion, all mixed. Fine, but if you lie to me one more time, it's over. For real? Kirk nods fast. I won't. Mona signals Kai through the glass. Two cameramen slip in quietly, lenses trained but unobtrusive. A sound guy clips mics. The red lights blink on. Rasheeda takes a breath. Kirk, look at me. He does. Eyes locked. Why her? Out of everybody, why Jasmine? Kirk doesn't flinch. Because she made me feel young again. Like I was still that dude in the club who could pull anybody. You and I, we've been through so much. Bills, kids, fame, fights. Sometimes I forgot what it felt like to just want. And she gave me that. But it was fake. It was empty. The second it happened I hated myself more than I ever have. Rasheeda's voice trembles. You made me feel old. Used. Like I wasn't enough anymore. You're everything, Kirk says, voice breaking. You're the only woman who ever really knew me. The only one who stayed when everybody else bounced. I fucked up the best thing that ever happened to me. He reaches for her hand. She doesn't pull away immediately. Lets his fingers brush hers. Then she yanks back like it burns. Don't touch me yet, she whispers. I can't. Kirk nods, tears falling freely now. Okay, whatever you need. The cameras catch every second, the tremble in her lip, the way his shoulders slump, the silence that says more than words. Outside, production vans are multiplying. Word spread fast. Scrappy pulls up in his truck, Kay, Michelle right behind him in her Bentley. They're not supposed to be here yet, but they heard. They're family. They barge in. Scrappy sees Kirk and immediately gets loud. Man, what the hell is wrong with you? Again? You got a whole wife like Rasheeda and you out here moving stupid, Kay. Michelle goes straight to Rasheeda, wraps her in a hug. Girl, I'm here. You don't have to go through this alone. Mona doesn't stop them. She knows drama needs fuel. Let them talk, she murmurs to Kai. Keep rolling. Scrappy gets in Kirk's face. You my brother, but right now I wanna beat your ass. You know how many times Rasheeda cried on my couch over you? And you do this? Kirk doesn't fight back. I know, I deserve it. Rasheeda stands up suddenly. Stop, everybody stop. This ain't y'all fight, it's mine. She looks around the room, at Mona, at Dr. Jeff, at her friends, at the cameras. I need air. She walks out to the patio. The pool lights are still on from last night. Her thrown clothes still float. She sits on the edge, feet dangling in the water. Mona follows, alone this time. No cameras. You okay? No, but I'm thinking. About what? About whether I can forgive him. Whether I want to. Whether this is who we are now, cheating, crying, cameras, repeat. Mona sits beside her. You don't have to decide today. But whatever you choose, do it loud. Do it honest. The fans will respect that. Rasheeda nods slowly. I keep seeing her face. Jasmine, smiling at me while she was texting my husband, she's gone. Blacklisted from every set. It's done, but the memory ain't. Mona puts an arm around her. Then let's make new memories. Starting with you taking your power back. Inside, Kirk is talking to Scrappy and Kay. Michelle. Low voices. Apologies. Promises. Scrappy softens a little. You gotta earn it back, bruh. No shortcuts. Kirk nods. I will. The day stretches on. More cast shows up. Mimi, Lil Scrappy, even Jocelyn on FaceTime screaming, I told y'all that man was trash. Laughter mixes with tears. The mansion becomes a revolving door of support, judgment, love, and chaos. By evening Rasheeda still hasn't let Kirk touch her. But she hasn't kicked him out again either. Mona gathers everyone in the living room. Tomorrow we shoot the first real scene. Therapy session. Confrontation. Whatever happens, happens. No script. Just truth. Rasheeda looks at Kirk across the room. He's watching her like she's the only thing keeping him alive. She doesn't smile, but she doesn't look away either. The thread is still there. Thin, frayed, but not snapped, yet. The sun is dipping low over Atlanta now, painting the Frost mansion in shades of orange and gold that feel almost mocking given the storm inside. The living room has become command central. Production lights are set up soft, not full harsh reality TV glare yet, just enough to catch the tears and the tension without making everyone look like zombies. Cameras are positioned discreetly, one on a tripod in the corner, another handheld with a steady operator who knows how to stay invisible, and two more hidden for confessionals later. Mona sits in an armchair like a queen on her throne, legs crossed, tablet balanced on her knee, watching everything with those sharp eyes that miss nothing. Rasheeda has moved to the far end of the sectional, knees pulled up, arms wrapped around them like she's protecting her heart from view. Kirk sits closer than she wants but farther than he wants, middle ground nobody's happy with. Scrappy and Kay, Michelle are still here, perched on bar stools at the kitchen island, acting like bouncers. Dr. Jeff has pulled up a chair between the couple, notepad open but pen still. He's letting silence do the heavy lifting right now. Mona finally speaks. We're rolling. No cuts unless someone says stop. Rasheeda, whenever you're ready. Rasheeda stares at the floor for a long beat. When she speaks, her voice is quiet but steady. I keep replaying it. Every time I close my eyes, I see you laughing with her. Touching her, like I didn't exist, like 20 plus years meant nothing. Kirk winces. It meant everything. That's why it hurts so bad. I wasn't thinking about us in that moment. I was thinking about me. About feeling wanted, and I hate that I did that to you. Wanted? Rasheeda's head snaps up. I wanted you every day. I cooked for you, prayed for you, held you when your mama passed, raised our kids while you were out chasing whatever high you needed. And you still needed more? Kirk's shoulders drop. I know I had no right. I was selfish, scared, getting older, seeing these young dudes coming up, feeling like I was fading. Jasmine, she fed that ego. Told me I was still that guy. But it was lies, all lies. Kay, Michelle can't stay quiet. Nigga, you had a whole wife at home feeding your ego for free. You didn't need a side hoe to tell you still got it. Rasheeda been hyping you since day one. Scrappy nods hard. Facts. You out here acting brand new when you got a diamond at home. Rasheeda lifts a hand. Y'all, let him talk. I need to hear it all. No interruptions. The room quiets. Kirk rubs his face. After it happened the first time, after the video dropped, after the blogs ate me alive, you forgave me. You fought for us, and I promised I'd never make you fight again. But I broke that promise. And now I'm sitting here wondering if there's any way back from this. Rasheeda's eyes fill again. There might be, but it's gonna cost you. Everything. Your pride, your privacy, your freedom to do whatever the hell you want. If we do this, it's all on the table. Therapy twice a week. Location sharing. Full phone access. No more boys trips. No more late nights without me knowing exactly where you are. And if I even smell another woman's perfume on you, it's done. No second chances. No explanations. Gone. Kirk nods fast. I'll sign whatever. Do whatever. I just want you back. Dr. Jeff leans in. Rasheeda, what does back look like for you? Not just him changing. What do you need to feel safe again? She thinks. I need to see remorse. Real remorse. Not just words. Not just tears. I need to see him choose me every day. Even when it's hard. Even when he's mad. Even when fans are in his comments calling him a dog. I need him to stand up and say, she's worth it. Publicly. Privately. Always. Mona types something quick on her tablet, probably noting confessionals beats. She looks up. We can capture that. But Kirk, you gotta mean it. Cameras don't lie. Fans will smell fake from a mile away. Kirk looks straight at Rasheeda. I mean it. I'll go on IG live tomorrow if you want. Tell the world I fucked up. Tell them you're the prize. Tell them I'm fighting for my family. Rasheeda studies him. Something shifts. Just a flicker. Not forgiveness yet, but consideration. We'll see. Mona claps once. Good, that's a start. Now let's shift. Rasheeda, you've got kids watching this eventually. Carter and Kyrie, they're old enough to feel the vibes even if they don't know the details. How do you protect them while dealing with this? Rasheeda's face softens at the mention of her boys. They're with my mama right now. I don't want them here for the raw parts. But they know something's wrong. Carter asked me this morning why Daddy wasn't in the bed. I told him we were arguing. He hugged me so tight, it broke me all over again. Kirk's head drops. Fresh tears. I hate that I did that to them too. Dr. Jeff nods. That's a good entry point. Guilt can be fuel for change if you use it right. Kirk, what are you prepared to do for your sons? Anything. I'll take them to school every day. Coach their games. Be home for dinner. No excuses. I lost sight of being their example. I won't let that happen again. The conversation stretches into the evening. Hours pass. They move from the living room to the dining table for food nobody really eats, catered soul food that goes cold. Rasheeda picks at collard greens. Kirk doesn't touch his plate. Scrappy and Michelle eventually leave, hugging Rasheeda tight, promising to check in tomorrow. Mona stays. So does Dr. Jeff. Around 10 p.m., Mona calls for a break. Camera is cut. Crew steps outside. The house feels smaller without the constant hum of equipment. Mona pulls Rasheeda aside in the hallway. You're doing good, really good. The emotion is real. Fans are gonna eat this up. I'm not doing it for fans, Rasheeda says quietly. I know, but it's helping. Every tear, every hard question, it's showing them what real love looks like when it's bruised. They need to see you fight for it, not just roll over. Rasheeda nods. I'm tired, Mona, bone tired, I know. But tomorrow's the big one. Full therapy session. We're bringing in a specialist on infidelity trauma. She's tough but fair. Kirk's gonna get grilled. You ready for that? Yeah. He needs to feel the heat. I've been carrying it alone too long. Mona hugs her. You're stronger than you know. Go get some rest. We start at 9 a.m. sharp. Rasheeda heads upstairs. Kirk watches her go, aching to follow but knowing better. He stays on the couch, staring at the ceiling. Cut to morning. The mansion is buzzing again. New cameras. Fresh crew. The infidelity specialist, Dr. Lisa Carter, arrives, mid-40s, no nonsense, locks pulled back, wearing a crisp blazer. She doesn't smile much. She's here to work. Everyone gathers in the family room. Big sectional rearranged into a circle. Rasheeda and Kirk side by side but not touching. Mona off to the side, observing. Dr. Jeff co-facilitating. Dr. Carter starts blunt. Rasheeda, tell me the moment you knew it was over, or thought it was. Rasheeda exhales. When I saw the video. Not just the act, the way he looked at her. Happy, free, like he didn't have a care in the world. That's when I felt invisible. Dr. Carter turns to Kirk. Kirk, describe that moment from your side. No filter. Kirk hesitates. I was high. Not drugs, champagne, ego, whatever. She laughed at my jokes. Touched my arm. It felt easy. No pressure. No history. I knew it was wrong the whole time but I kept going. Like I was watching myself do it and couldn't stop. And now? Dr. Carter asks. Now I feel sick. Every time I look at her I see what I almost threw away. Rasheeda speaks up. Almost? You did throw it away. You just want it back now that it's gone. Dr. Carter nods. That's common. The chase becomes more valuable than the catch. Kirk, what happens when the chase is over again? When life gets normal, will you look for the next easy thrill? Kirk shakes his head hard. No, I'm done with that. I've lost too much. Prove it, Rasheeda says. Right now, in front of everybody. Dr. Carter raises an eyebrow. How? Rasheeda looks at Mona. Mona nods. Go ahead. Rasheeda pulls out her phone. Opens IG Live. Hits record. The viewer count skyrockets immediately. 10K, 20K, 50K in seconds. Hey y'all, Rasheeda says, voice steady despite the tears. It's Rasheeda. I'm not here to sugarcoat. Kirk and I are going through it. He cheated. Again. With someone close. It hurt. Bad. But we're here. In therapy. Fighting. I don't know if we'll make it. But I know I'm not giving up without showing the real work. So if you're watching, pray for us. Judge us. Whatever. Just know love ain't always pretty. But sometimes it's worth saving. She turns the phone to Kirk. He takes a breath. What's up, world? It's Kirk. I messed up. Big time. I hurt the best woman I ever knew. My wife. My partner. My everything. I don't deserve her forgiveness. But I'm begging for it. I'm in therapy. I'm changing. No more excuses. Rasheeda Frost is worth fighting for. And that's what I'm doing. Every day. Comments flood in. Yas queen, Kirk you trash, rooting for y'all, this season bout to be fire. Rasheeda ends the live. Hands shaking. Kirk looks at her. Thank you. She doesn't respond, but she doesn't move away when he inches closer. Dr. Carter smiles for the first time. That was brave, both of you. Now let's dig deeper. The session goes another 3 hours. Tears, yelling, breakthroughs. Kirk admits childhood stuff, feeling abandoned by his dad, chasing validation. Rasheeda admits she stayed too long, sometimes out of fear of starting over. They hold hands by the end. Tentative, but holding. Mona watches it all, smiling small. She knows gold when she sees it. Outside, the sun sets again. The pool lights come on. The clothes are finally fished out, wet, wrinkled, symbolic. Inside, Rasheeda and Kirk sit alone on the patio after everyone leaves. No cameras. She speaks first. I'm not saying yes yet. But I'm not saying no, Kirk nods. That's enough for now. She leans her head on his shoulder, just for a second. Then pulls back, but it's a start. The thread thickens. Not strong yet, but thicker. And the cameras keep rolling. The night after the IG Live feels heavier than any before. The mansion is quiet for once, no crew lingering, no friends crashing the scene, just the hum of the AC and the occasional splash from the pool filter cleaning up the last traces of yesterday's chaos. Rasheeda lies in the master bed alone, sheets pulled tight like armor. She hasn't invited Kirk back upstairs. Not yet. She stares at the ceiling fan spinning slow circles, replaying the live in her head. The way the comments flew, half cheering her strength, half dragging Kirk through the mud, a few calling her weak for even considering forgiveness. It stings, but it also steals her. She's not doing this for likes. She's doing it for the mirror. For the woman looking back who refuses to let one man's mistakes erase 2 decades of her life. Downstairs, Kirk can't sleep either. He's on the guest house couch again, phone in hand, scrolling through old photos. Their wedding day, her in white, him grinning like he won the lottery. Baby Carter's first steps. Family vacations in Miami. Every picture a reminder of what he almost torched. He opens Notes app, starts typing. Not a text to her, those get ignored right now, but a letter. Raw, unfiltered. He writes until his thumbs cramp. Sheeda, I don't expect you to read this tonight or tomorrow or ever. But I need to say it somewhere. I was a coward. I chased shadows because facing the real thing, the good and the bad, scared me more. You never stopped seeing me. Even when I couldn't see myself. I'm sorry for every tear, every doubt I planted. If you give me the chance, I'll spend the rest of my life proving I can be the man you always believed I was. He saves it, doesn't send, just stares at the words until the screen dims. Morning comes too fast. 8 a.m. production is already setting up in the backyard. Today's the big therapy day part 2, Dr. Lisa Carter is back, sharper than ever. Mona wants accountability visuals, Kirk doing something concrete, something symbolic. She's got ideas brewing. Rasheeda emerges around 8:45, hair in a simple ponytail, no makeup, oversized hoodie that swallows her frame. She looks smaller but somehow fiercer. Kirk is already outside, waiting by the pool, wearing the same clothes from yesterday because he doesn't dare go upstairs for fresh ones without permission. Mona greets Rasheeda with coffee and a quick once-over. You good? No, but I'm here. That's all I need. They gather poolside. Cameras rolling. Dr. Carter starts without preamble. Yesterday was revelation. Today is action. Rasheeda, what's one thing you need to see from Kirk right now, not words, action, that would make you believe change is possible? Rasheeda doesn't hesitate. I need him to cut ties. Not just block Jasmine. I need him to call her. On speaker. Right now. In front of me. And end it for good. No, we can still be friends bullshit. Clean break. Kirk nods immediately. I'll do it. Mona signals Kai. Phone is handed over. Kirk's personal one, not a prop. He dials Jasmine's number. It rings. Everyone holds their breath. She picks up on the third ring. Kirk? Oh my god, I've been trying to. Stop, he cuts in, voice flat. This is it. We're done. Completely. Don't call. Don't text. Don't show up anywhere near me or my family. What happened was a mistake I'll regret forever. But it ends here. Goodbye. Wait, Kirk, please. He hangs up, blocks the number, deletes the contact. Then he hands the phone to Rasheeda. Check it. Do whatever you need. She takes it, scrolls. Sees the deleted thread. Sees the block. Hands it back without a word. But her shoulders drop a fraction, like one small weight lifted. Dr. Carter nods approval. Good, that's step 1. Now Kirk, what are you doing to rebuild trust beyond phone games? Kirk looks at Rasheeda. I want to give you something. Not jewelry or money, something real. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out a small velvet pouch. Inside, 2 plain gold bands. Their original wedding rings, the ones they stopped wearing years ago because fame changed things, and chains and iced out versions took over. I took these off when I started feeling like I didn't deserve them, he says. I want to put yours back on. If you'll let me. And I want mine back too. As a promise. Not to the cameras. To you. Rasheeda stares at the rings. Tears well up again. You think a ring fixes this? No, but it reminds me every day what I'm fighting for. She extends her hand, slow, trembling. He slides the band onto her finger. It still fits perfectly. Then he holds out his hand. She hesitates longer this time. But eventually she takes his ring, slides it on. The crew is dead silent. Even Mona isn't directing, just watching. This doesn't mean we're good, Rasheeda whispers. It means I'm willing to try. Kirk's eyes close in relief. That's all I'm asking. The session continues. Dr. Carter pushes deeper, into patterns, triggers, boundaries. Rasheeda admits she's scared of looking stupid on national TV if he slips again. Kirk admits he's terrified of being alone with his own thoughts. They talk about the kids, about how to explain without destroying their image of daddy. They talk about sex, how trust has to come back before intimacy can. Raw, uncomfortable, real. By afternoon, the energy shifts. Mona calls for a break but suggests something spontaneous. Let's get the kids involved. Not on camera yet, just a family moment. Carter and Kyrie are with your mom. Bring them home, see how it feels. Rasheeda hesitates. They don't need to see us like this. They already feel it, Kirk says softly. Carter keeps asking why I'm sleeping downstairs. Let's show them we're trying. She agrees. An hour later, the boys burst through the door, Carter 7, full of energy, Kyrie 4, shy and clingy. They run to Rasheeda first. Hug her tight, then spot Kirk. Carter pauses. Daddy, you home? Kirk drops to his knees. Yeah, buddy, I'm home, and I'm staying. Kyrie toddles over, unsure. Kirk opens his arms. The little one goes in. Rasheeda watches, heart twisting. No cameras in this moment, Mona gave strict orders. Just family. They spend the rest of the afternoon outside. No deep talks. Just throwing a football, pushing swings, eating popsicles. Small normalcies that feel huge after days of war. Rasheeda catches Kirk watching her with the boys, pure adoration, no ego. It chips at the wall she built. Evening falls. Kids in bed. Rasheeda and Kirk back on the patio. Alone again. She speaks first. Seeing you with them, it reminded me why I fell in love. You're a good dad. Always have been. I want to be a good husband too, he says. Then keep showing up. Every day. No breaks. I will. She stands. I'm going to bed. Upstairs. You can come. But just sleep. No touching. No talking. Just be there. Kirk's face lights up like Christmas. Okay. They climb the stairs together. Slow. Awkward. But together. In the bedroom she slips under the covers. He does the same, on his side, careful not to crowd. The space between them feels like a canyon and a bridge at once. She turns off the lamp. Darkness settles. After a long silence she whispers, "Good night, Kirk." "Good night, Sheeda. I love you." She doesn't say it back. But she doesn't move away when his breathing evens out. The next few days blur into production rhythm. Therapy sessions every morning. Cast check-ins. Scrappy brings food. Michelle brings wine and wisdom. Mimi shares her own divorce horror stories as cautionary tales. Mona orchestrates confessionals. Rasheeda raw and regal, Kirk humbled and hopeful. Fans online are split. Hashtag Team Rasheeda trends hard, but hashtag Save Kirk and Rasheeda gains steam too. Blogs speculate. TMZ runs blurry pap shots of them leaving therapy hand in hand. Not quite hand in hand, fingers brushing, but close enough to spark hope. One night, after a particularly brutal session where Rasheeda unloads years of resentment, she finds Kirk in the kitchen at 2 a.m., making her favorite, grilled cheese with tomato soup. No words. He just slides the plate over. She sits, eats, tears drop into the soup. He doesn't push, just sits across, watching her like she's precious. Why now? She asks finally. Why fight so hard now? Because losing you isn't hypothetical anymore. I felt it. The empty house. The quiet. The boys looking at me like I might disappear. It woke me up. She nods. I felt it too. The loneliness. Even with you here, I felt alone. I'm sorry I made you feel that. I know. She reaches across the island. Their fingers link. First voluntary touch since the blow-up. Small, but seismic. Days turn to a week. Trust inches forward. He starts driving her to meetings. She starts wearing the wedding band again, plain gold, no flash. They laugh once, really laugh, when Kyrie spills juice all over Kirk's white tee. Rasheeda teases him. He teases back. Normal creeps in. Mona calls a big group scene. Full cast reunion style. Everyone gathers in the backyard. Jocelyn flies in just for it, drama insurance. She struts in, hugs Rasheeda tight. Girl, you stronger than all these niggas combined. The group talks, laughs, cries. Kirk stands up. I know y'all got opinions. I deserve every one. But I'm here to say, Rasheeda is my wife. My queen. I hurt her. Bad. But I'm owning it, fixing it, and if anybody got something to say it to my face. But know this, I ain't going nowhere. Scrappy claps him on the back. 'Bout time, fool. Jocelyn rolls her eyes. We'll see. But Rasheeda smiles, small, real. The night ends with music. Old school R&B. Dancing. Not couple dancing yet, group vibes. But Kirk and Rasheeda sway close at one point. Not touching, just near, enough. Back upstairs later. She lets him hold her. Spooning, no more, but his arms around her feel like home again. She whispers into the dark, I'm scared. Me too. But I love you. He tightens his hold. I love you more. The thread isn't just thick now. It's weaving, knotting, strengthening. And the cameras catch every stitch. The days start blending into something almost routine again, but it's a fragile routine built on eggshells and constant check-ins. Rasheeda wakes up every morning with Kirk's arm still loosely draped over her waist. He hasn't pushed for more, respecting the boundary she set. Sleep only, no advances until she says otherwise. She lies there sometimes for 20 minutes just listening to his breathing, trying to decide if the comfort outweighs the echo of betrayal still ringing in her ears. Some mornings she slips out quietly, goes downstairs to make tea, and sits by the window watching the sunrise paint the Atlanta skyline. Other mornings she stays, lets his warmth anchor her, and whispers a quiet thank you to whatever higher power kept her from walking out that first night. Production ramps up. Mona has greenlit a 3-episode arc focused entirely on their recovery, what she calls the redemption season. Cameras follow them to therapy, to date nights that feel more like auditions than romance, to family dinners where the boys are slowly let in on the "mommy and daddy were fighting but we're fixing it" narrative. Carter, wise beyond his years, starts asking questions. Why did daddy sleep downstairs? Rasheeda answers honestly but gently, sometimes grown-ups make mistakes, baby. But when they love each other, they work hard to make it right. Kyrie just wants hugs and doesn't care about the why, he's happy daddy's back in the big bed. One afternoon they film a trust-building exercise Mona insists on. Dr. Lisa Carter supervises. It's simple but brutal, blindfolded, one partner leads the other through the backyard obstacle course. Production set up, chairs, pool floats, kiddie pools filled with water. Kirk is blindfolded first. Rasheeda holds his hands, guides him. Left, no, your other left, step high, okay, stop. He stumbles once, laughs nervously. She steadies him. When it's her turn, she hesitates. I don't like not seeing, she admits on camera. Kirk takes her hands gently. I got you, Sheeda. I promise. He leads slow, careful. Describes every step. When she almost trips over a float, he catches her waist, first real touch beyond holding hands in days. She freezes but doesn't pull away. The cameras catch the moment her shoulders relax. Dr. Carter notes it later in confessional. That's progress. Physical trust is rebuilding. That night, after the boys are asleep, they sit on the patio again. No cameras this time. Mona gave them the evening off. Kirk opens up more. I've been thinking about why I did it. Not just ego. Deeper. My pops left when I was 12. Never came back. I spent my whole life proving I was enough. Music, money, women. But with you, I never had to prove. You just loved me. And that scared me more than anything. Because if I didn't have to chase, what if I lost my edge? What if I became my dad, stagnant, gone? Rasheeda listens. Really listens. You weren't your dad. You were worse. At least he left clean. You stayed and hurt me while you were here. He nods. Tears again. He cries easy now, no shame in it. I know, but I'm learning. Therapy's kicking my ass. Dr. Lisa got me journaling every night. Writing why I love you. Why I choose you. It's helping. She reaches for his hand. Show me. He pulls out his phone, opens the notes app. Scrolls to an entry from last week. Reads aloud quietly. Day 12. Today she smiled at me when I made breakfast. Real smile, not polite. Reminded me of our first date, Waffle House at 3 a.m., laughing till we cried. She's still that girl. Still my best friend. Still the one who makes everything make sense. I don't deserve her laugh yet, but I'm working so I can. Rasheeda's eyes glisten. You wrote that? Every night. Some days it's short. Some days it's pages. But it's for me first. To remind me who I'm becoming. She leans her head on his shoulder. Stays there. They sit like that until the mosquitoes force them inside. The next big scene is a cast intervention of sorts. Mona gathers the core group, Scrappy, Kay, Michelle, Mimi, Lil Scrappy, even Stevie J who flies in from La. They sit in a circle in the living room. Mona frames it as tough love check-in. Cameras everywhere. Scrappy goes first. Kirk, bruh, I love you like family. But you gotta understand, every time you slip, it don't just hurt Rasheeda. It hurts all of us. We been riding with y'all since season 1. We seen the ups, the downs. But this was low. You made us question if the love was real or just good TV. Kirk nods. It was real. Still is. I broke it. I'm fixing it. Kay, Michelle jumps in. Fixing it means consistency. Not one good week then back to old ways. Rasheeda been holding y'all down forever. Time for you to hold her up. Mimi, softer. I left my marriage because trust never came back. Don't let that be you too. But if it happens, Sheeda, you got options. Don't stay out of habit. Rasheeda speaks up. I'm not staying out of habit. I'm staying because I see change. Real change. And because I still love him. Messy, stupid, deep love. But if he slips again, I'm gone. And I'll be okay. Better than okay. The room quiets. Stevie J, usually clowning, gets serious. I messed up a lot too. Lost good women. Regret it every day. Kirk, don't be me. Be better. Kirk looks around. Y'all right. I owe everybody an apology. Not just Sheeda. I let the family down. Won't happen again. They hug it out. Tears. Laughter. Jocelyn crashes via Zoom, screaming, y'all better not fake this shit for ratings, but ends with, I'm proud of you, Rasheeda. Queen shit. The energy shifts after that. The cast becomes part of the healing. Group dinners. Game nights. No drama for once, just support. 2 weeks later, Mona plans the first real date scene. Production rents out a private room at a rooftop restaurant downtown. String lights, soft jazz, skyline view. Rasheeda wears a simple black dress, the one Kirk always said made her look like a goddess. He wears a suit, no chains, just the plain gold band. Cameras are there but discreet. They sit, awkward at first. Then conversation flows. They talk about old memories, first kiss in a parking lot after a scrappy show, the night Carter was born, the time they snuck away to Tybee Island and pretended they weren't famous. Laughter comes easier. By dessert, Kirk reaches across the table. Can I hold your hand? She lets him. After dinner they walk along the beltline. Cameras trail at a distance. No talking, just walking, hands linked. When they stop at a bench, he pulls her close. She rests her head on his chest. Listens to his heartbeat. Fast, nervous, hers too. I missed this, she whispers. Me too, more than you know. They kiss, slow, tentative, like teenagers again. Cameras catch it from afar. Mona in the production van smiles wide. That's the money shot. Back home that night, kids asleep. They go upstairs together. In the bedroom, she pauses at the door. Stay tonight, really stay. He nods. They undress slowly, no rush. When they slide under the covers, she turns to him. I'm scared, but I want this. I'm scared too, but I'm all in. They make love, gentle, emotional, healing. Tears mix with kisses. Afterward she curls into him. Don't hurt me again. Never. She believes him, mostly. The season finale looms. Mona films a final confessional. Rasheeda first. We're not perfect. We'll never be. But we're real. We're fighting. And right now, that's enough. Kirk next. I almost lost everything, but she gave me another chance. I'm spending every day earning it. Love and hip-hop ain't just drama, sometimes it's redemption. Last scene. Family portrait in the backyard. Boys in front, Rasheeda and Kirk behind, arms around each other. Smiles real, not forced. Fade out on them laughing as Kyrie splashes in the pool. Off camera, Mona pulls them aside. This season's gonna break records. But more than that, you two broke through. I'm proud. Rasheeda hugs her. Thank you for not letting me quit. Mona winks. Baby, I never let my stars quit. Especially not the ones who shine brightest when it's dark. Weeks pass. Therapy continues. Trust grows. Small arguments happen, normal ones. No cheating shadows. Kirk deletes social media apps for a while. Focuses on home. Rasheeda starts a small jewelry line, simple gold bands engraved with "Choose Daily." It sells out in hours. Fans message, "Y'all inspired me to fight for my marriage." One night, months later, they're on the couch watching old episodes. Laughing at how young they looked. Kirk pauses the TV. You know I still write to you every night? In the notes. She smiles. I read them sometimes, when you're asleep. And, I love you. Still, more. He kisses her forehead. Good, because I'm never stopping. The thread isn't just strong now. It's unbreakable. And somewhere in an editing bay, Mona watches the rough cuts, tears in her eyes for once. Not for ratings. For real love. Messy, painful, beautiful love. The end? No. Just a new beginning. Hold up, because just when you thought the storm had passed, the real aftermath begins. The cameras may have faded out on that smiling family portrait, but healing doesn't wrap up neatly with a fade to black. It stretches into the quiet mornings, into the small pauses between conversations, into the moments where doubt creeps in without warning. A month after the rooftop kiss, life inside the Frost mansion feels different. Not perfect, not magically restored, but intentional. Rasheeda wakes up before everyone else now. Not because she's anxious, but because she's rebuilding herself too. She's in the kitchen at 6 a.m., robe tied tight, laptop open, reviewing designs for her new jewelry drop. The gold bands engraved with "Choose Daily" weren't just a storyline moment, they became a movement. Women across Atlanta, across the country, posting pictures of their rings, tagging her, saying they're choosing themselves, choosing healing, choosing boundaries. She scrolls through the comments slowly. Some are beautiful, some are brutal. You should have left him. He'll cheat again. Queen behavior. Clown behavior. She used to let comments like that shake her. Now she studies them like case studies. Everyone has an opinion about your marriage when it plays out on screen. But none of them have to lay in your bed at night. None of them hear the way his voice cracks when he apologizes in the dark. Footsteps behind her. Kirk. He doesn't sneak up anymore. He makes noise on purpose. Clears his throat gently before stepping closer. Morning, he says, soft. She glances over her shoulder. Morning. He walks around the island instead of coming up behind her. Gives her space. That's new. He pours himself coffee, then pauses. You got therapy at 10, right? She nods. Yeah, and the boys got practice at 4. I'll take him, he says quickly. You got that brand call at 3. She studies him for a second. He's not performing. He's remembering. Planning. Showing up. Okay, she says. It's small, but it's everything. The next therapy session isn't explosive. No yelling. No dramatic confessions. Dr. Lisa Carter leans back in her chair, arms crossed, evaluating. So, she says, what's been hard this week? Rasheeda answers first. The quiet. Kirk looks at her, confused. Quiet? When nothing's wrong. When there's no drama. That's when my brain starts talking. That's when I start wondering if this is just the calm before the next storm. Dr. Carter nods. Hypervigilance. Completely normal after betrayal. Kirk swallows. What can I do when she gets like that? Rasheeda looks at him directly. Don't get defensive. Don't say, why you still bringing it up? Just reassure me, even if it's annoying. He nods. I can do that. Dr. Carter leans forward, and Rasheeda, what do you do when he shows consistency? She pauses. That one's harder. I acknowledge it, she says finally. Out loud, so he knows I see it. Kirk exhales slowly. That matters more than applause. More than cameras. Being seen. Back home that afternoon, the boys are racing through the hallway, arguing about whose turn it is on the tablet. Normal chaos. Loud. Beautiful. Carter runs into the kitchen. Daddy, you coming to practice today? Kirk kneels instantly. Eye level. Wouldn't miss it. Rasheeda watches from the doorway. No cameras. No production crew. Just a father answering his son without hesitation. Later that evening, after practice, after dinner, after baths and bedtime stories, Rasheeda finds Kirk on the patio alone. He's not scrolling. He's writing. Notebook this time, not the phone. You still doing that? She asks. He smiles faintly. Every night. Read me one. He hesitates. You sure? Yeah. He flips back a page. Day 37. Today she laughed at something stupid I said in the car. Not a polite laugh. A real one. I realized I don't miss the club. I don't miss attention. I miss this. I miss being the reason she smiles. I'm learning that love isn't about being desired by everybody. It's about being chosen by one person and choosing them back. Her throat tightens. You're getting good at that, she says quietly. At what? Choosing. He closes the notebook, looks at her. I'm not perfect, Sheeda. I still get tempted, not by people, by old habits, by ego, but now I tell you when I'm feeling off. I don't hide it, and that's the difference. Weeks turn into months. The show airs. Social media explodes. Some call it the greatest redemption arc in franchise history. Others call it manipulation. But the numbers don't matter inside the house. What matters is this. He hasn't lied. He hasn't slipped. He hasn't disappeared. One night, about 3 months in, Rasheeda wakes up suddenly. Heart pounding. Dream. Same old nightmare. The video. The laughter. The Range Rover. She sits up in bed, breathing fast. Kirk wakes instantly. What's wrong? She doesn't answer right away. Just stares ahead. I saw it again, she whispers. He doesn't sigh. Doesn't say, it's in the past. He sits up, turns toward her. I'm here, he says. That's not happening right now. I'm here. She looks at him. You promise? I promise. She studies his face in the dark. No flicker. No avoidance. She nods slowly, lies back down. This time, she reaches for him first. That's when he knows something real is happening. Not dramatic forgiveness. Not flashy grand gestures. Just rebuilding. Around month 4, Rasheeda gets invited to speak at a women's empowerment brunch in Atlanta. The room is packed. Influencers, entrepreneurs, wives, single women, divorcees. She stands at the podium in a cream suit, gold band glinting under the lights. I'm not here to tell you to stay, she says firmly. And I'm not here to tell you to leave. I'm here to tell you to choose yourself first. For me, choosing myself meant demanding change. Real change. And being willing to walk if I didn't see it. She pauses. Forgiveness isn't weakness. And leaving isn't failure. What matters is that your decision is yours, not fear, not pressure, not public opinion. Applause erupts. In the back of the room, Kirk watches quietly. Not front row. Not spotlight. Just present. Afterward, when she steps off stage, he hands her a bottle of water. You killed that, he says. She smiles. I meant every word. I know. And I meant the part about walking. He nods once. I know that too. That's the balance now. Love, without illusion. Months later, on a random Tuesday night, they're in the kitchen arguing about something completely normal. The dishwasher. You always load it like this, she says. It works, he laughs. No, it doesn't. They go back and forth until they're both laughing too hard to continue. She leans against the counter, shaking her head. You know what's crazy? What? We fighting about dishes instead of cheating. He walks over slowly. That's growth, he says. She looks at him, really looks at him. I don't hate you anymore, she admits softly. The words land heavy. He nods, eyes glossy. Thank you. I'm not saying it's erased. I'm saying, it doesn't control me now. He steps closer, stops inches away. Can I hug you? She opens her arms. He pulls her in tight. No desperation, no fear, just gratitude. Upstairs, later, she scrolls through old photos again. Wedding day, babies, vacations. But this time, she doesn't feel grief. She feels history. And history isn't something you throw away lightly. 1 year after the night she threw his clothes into the pool, they host a small anniversary dinner at home. Not a big event, just close friends, family. Scrappy makes a toast. To second chances, he says. K. Michelle raises her glass. To growth. Mimi adds, to knowing your worth. Kirk stands last. To my wife, he says, voice steady. For not confusing my worst moment with my whole identity. For demanding better. And for staying long enough to see me become it. He turns to her. I don't deserve applause. I deserve accountability. And I'm still earning it. Rasheeda stands beside him. And I'm still watching, she says with a smile. Laughter fills the room. But the smile between them? That's real. Later that night, after everyone leaves, they sit by the pool again. Same spot. Different energy. No cameras, she says. No audience, he agrees. She looks at the water, reflecting the house lights. Remember when I threw your Rolex into those bushes? He laughs. Yeah, took me 2 days to find it. She leans into him. I meant it when I said I was done that night. I know. And I mean it when I say, we're okay now. He exhales like he's been holding that breath for a year. Okay, like healed? He asks carefully. Okay, like healing, she corrects. He nods. I'll take that. She rests her head on his shoulder. And Kirk? Yeah? If you ever make me look stupid again. He cuts in gently. I won't. Silence. Then she smiles. Good answer. The thread between them isn't fragile anymore. It's scarred, reinforced, chosen, daily. And this time, it's not about ratings. It's not about storylines. It's about two imperfect people deciding, every single morning, to stay. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. A year after the night everything almost shattered for good, the Frost Mansion doesn't feel like a battleground anymore. It feels lived in, layered with history instead of haunted by it. The air is different, lighter, not because the past disappeared, but because it was faced head-on and survived. Rasheeda moves through her days with a steadiness that wasn't there before. She's sharper now, clearer, more grounded in who she is outside of being somebody's wife. Her jewelry line has grown beyond what she imagined. Choose Daily isn't just a slogan stamped into gold bands, it's stitched into hoodies, etched into journals, printed on affirmation cards women keep on their nightstands. She's built panels, launched a podcast, started conversations about boundaries and rebuilding trust. And through all of it, Kirk stands beside her, not in front, not behind, not trying to reclaim spotlight, just present. That presence is what changed everything. It's not flashy, it doesn't trend, but it's consistent. He shows up to school events without being reminded. He handles business calls in the driveway so the house stays peaceful. He checks in when she's quiet instead of assuming silence means everything's fine. They still argue sometimes, about money management, about scheduling, about parenting styles, but the arguments don't feel like threats anymore. They feel like two adults negotiating life instead of two wounded people trying to win. There are still hard days. Triggers don't evaporate on command. Sometimes Rasheeda will hear a certain ringtone in public and feel her chest tighten. Sometimes she'll see a stylist on set laugh a little too freely and her mind will flash backward for half a second. But instead of swallowing it, she speaks it. That made me uncomfortable, she'll say. And instead of getting defensive, Kirk listens. That's the part that saved them, not perfection, but responsiveness. On their anniversary trip, a quiet weekend in Savannah instead of some flashy international flex, they walk along cobblestone streets holding hands like teenagers again. No press, no castmates, just them. At dinner, candlelight flickering across her face, he reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out a folded letter. Not typed, not rehearsed, handwritten. I don't want to promise you forever like it's automatic, he says softly. I want to promise you effort. Every day, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when nobody's watching. She reads the letter slowly, eyes glassy but calm. It doesn't beg, it doesn't dramatize, it acknowledges ownership without theatrics. When they return home, life resumes, school drop-offs, business meetings, filming commitments, but something fundamental has shifted. They don't perform their love anymore. They protect it. The show captures pieces of it, sure, but there are rooms in their marriage now that cameras don't enter. Sacred spaces. And that privacy strengthens them. Rasheeda starts mentoring younger women quietly, telling them the same thing she had to learn the hard way. Forgiveness is a choice, but so is leaving. Just make sure whichever one you pick comes from strength. Kirk, for his part, begins speaking to men about ego, validation, and the damage of unchecked insecurity. He doesn't present himself as a hero. He presents himself as a cautionary tale who did the work. Some men scoff, some listen, but he keeps talking anyway. One evening, months later, Rasheeda finds herself alone in the master bedroom, the same room where everything blew up that first night. She stands in the center for a moment, remembering the shattered vase, the tears, the screaming. It feels like a different lifetime. Kirk walks in behind her quietly. You okay? He asks. She nods slowly. Yeah, I was just thinking about how close we were to losing all this. He steps beside her. I think about that every day. She turns to him, searching his face not for guilt but for truth. Do you ever miss it? She asks honestly. The chaos? The thrill? He shakes his head without hesitation. No, I don't miss almost losing you. I don't miss hating myself. I don't miss looking at our kids and feeling like a fraud. Peace feels better. That answer settles something deep in her chest. They don't need fireworks anymore. They need stability. Later that night, as they lie in bed, she traces the outline of his gold band with her thumb. You know this ring doesn't guarantee anything, she murmurs. I know, he replies. It just reminds me. Of what? That I don't want to be the man who loses the best thing that ever happened to him. She smiles faintly in the dark. Love now isn't dramatic. It's steady breathing. It's shared calendars. It's therapy appointments kept. It's accountability without resentment. It's choosing not to weaponize the past in every disagreement. A year and a half in, the whispers online quiet down. New scandals replace old ones. New couples implode. The spotlight shifts. But inside the Frost home, something solid has formed, not naive trust, but informed trust. The kind that's rebuilt brick by brick. One Sunday afternoon, the whole family piles onto the couch watching a movie. Carter wedged between them, Kyrie half asleep against Kirk's chest. Rasheeda catches Kirk's eye across the room. No words, just a look that says we made it through something that could have destroyed us. Later, when the boys are asleep and the house is finally still, she sits with him on the patio again, their unofficial therapy space. If we hadn't gone through that, she says thoughtfully, I don't think I would have known how strong I actually am. He nods. And I wouldn't have known how much I was taking for granted. She leans into him. We're not perfect. Never will be, he agrees. But we're aware. That awareness is the difference between surviving and repeating. And that's the thing nobody sees in highlight reels. Growth is quiet. Redemption is routine. Love, when it's rebuilt right, is boring in the best way possible. It's not about proving anything anymore. It's about protecting what they almost lost. And every morning when the sun hits the kitchen window and Rasheeda pours her tea while Kirk makes the coffee, there's no grand speech. No dramatic music swelling, just two people in the same space, choosing each other again. And again, and again. Another season rolls in quietly, not announced by scandal or shouting, but by routine, and routine, Rasheeda has learned, is where real love either survives or dies. The house wakes before the sun most days now, not because of tension but because life is full. Business calls start early, the boys' backpacks need packing, and somewhere between pouring cereal and answering emails, Rasheeda sometimes pauses and just watches the scene unfold like a woman studying a painting she almost lost in a fire. Kirk moving through the kitchen without being asked. Carter complaining about homework. Kyrie dancing in socks across the tile. It's ordinary, almost boring, and that's what makes it precious. There was a time when silence in the house felt dangerous, like it was hiding something. Now silence feels earned, but healing doesn't mean amnesia. There are still moments when the past taps her shoulder unexpectedly. One afternoon at a brand event, a photographer casually mentions that cheating season, and Rasheeda feels her spine stiffen. Not from shame, from memory. The humiliation of it, the public dissection, the way strangers debated her worth like she wasn't human. She excuses herself to the restroom, locks the stall, takes a slow breath. She doesn't spiral anymore, but she does feel. And feeling is part of staying honest. Later that evening, she tells Kirk about it while they're folding laundry. No accusation, just truth. He stops mid-fold, looks at her with that steady gaze he's practiced giving instead of defensiveness. I'm sorry that my mistakes still echo for you, he says quietly. Not, it's old news. Not, why are we still here? Just ownership. And that small response prevents what used to become a 3-hour argument. Growth shows up in the tiny pivots. Weeks pass, and the world moves on to fresher drama, but inside the marriage, the work continues without applause. Kirk has started individual counseling beyond the couple's sessions, digging into patterns he once ignored. He talks about childhood wounds, about masculinity scripts that told him attention equals value, about how easy it was to hide insecurity behind ego. Rasheeda listens when he shares these revelations, but she doesn't coddle. Understanding it doesn't excuse it, she reminds him. He nods every time, because that's the deal, empathy without erasing accountability. On a random Thursday night, when the boys are asleep and the house is dim, Kirk pulls out an old hard drive full of family footage from years ago. They sit side by side on the couch watching grainy clips of their younger selves, louder, more reckless, more naive. There's a video of Rasheeda dancing in the kitchen while pregnant, Kirk hyping her up behind the camera. They both laugh. We were so young, she says softly. We still are, he replies. But they both know what she meant. Youth isn't about age, it's about illusion. Back then, they thought love alone was enough. Now they know love requires maintenance. The next real test comes not in the form of temptation, but stress. A business deal falls through for Kirk, and the frustration hits hard. Old Kirk would have escaped into distraction, late nights, ego boosts, avoidance. This time, he comes home early. Sits at the dining table, head in his hands. Rasheeda walks in, senses the energy immediately. Talk to me, she says. He does. Not polished, not prideful, raw. I feel like I failed, he admits. Like I'm not providing the way I should. She pulls out a chair across from him. We're a team. You don't get to carry that alone anymore. That moment, that choice to confide instead of conceal, strengthens something invisible but critical. Trust isn't just about fidelity. It's about transparency under pressure. As months stack up, intimacy evolves too. It's no longer just physical reconnection, it's emotional availability. They check in about triggers before they escalate. They schedule date nights that aren't for content but for closeness. They flirt again, awkwardly at first, then naturally. Rasheeda notices how Kirk looks at her when she's speaking at panels, pride, not possession. She feels desired, but not objectified. There's a difference now. One evening, during a quiet dinner at home, she asks him a question she's been holding. If I had left that night, what would you have done? He doesn't dodge it. Probably spiraled, he admits. Blamed you at first, then blamed myself, then eventually realized I lost the best thing I ever built. She studies him carefully. And would you have changed? He pauses longer this time. I think losing you would have forced it. But I'm grateful I didn't have to lose you to grow. That answer sits between them, heavy but honest. Forgiveness, she's learned, doesn't erase consequences, it redefines them. The consequence for Kirk isn't public shame anymore. It's permanent awareness, and he carries it humbly. A year and a half after the explosion, Rasheeda finds herself laughing more than she cries. That's the metric she didn't realize she was measuring. There's still vulnerability, still cautious optimism, but the constant tightness in her chest has eased. The boys thrive in the stability. Carter writes a school essay about his family being strong because they fix things. Rasheeda reads it in the carpool line and tears up quietly. They didn't just repair a marriage, they modeled resilience. The show captures fragments of this new chapter, but most of it happens off camera. They guard certain conversations fiercely now. Not everything needs an audience. Sometimes growth is sacred. On the anniversary of the night she threw his clothes into the pool, Kirk surprises her, not with jewelry or a party, but with something simpler. He drained and cleaned the pool himself that morning, scrubbing tiles, fixing the light she always complained about. When she steps outside and sees it sparkling, he shrugs. Figured we should replace that memory with something better. She walks to the edge, slips her hand into his. You know, she says softly, I almost walked away for good. He nods. I know, and sometimes I'm proud I didn't. He squeezes her fingers. I am too. That night, as they float side by side under the stars, there's no dramatic vow renewal, no grand declarations. Just shared silence. Peace that had to be earned. Healing that wasn't rushed. Love that matured instead of combusted. Later, when the boys are asleep and the house hums with that familiar nighttime quiet, Rasheeda curls against him and whispers something she hasn't said lightly since everything broke. I trust you. He doesn't celebrate it, doesn't overreact. He just kisses her forehead gently. I'll keep earning it, because that's the thing. Trust after betrayal isn't a one-time grant. It's a renewable contract, and both of them sign it daily now. The world may remember the scandal, the shouting, the viral clips, but what defines them isn't the moment they nearly collapsed, it's the months and years they chose to rebuild. Not out of fear, not out of image, but because underneath the ego and the hurt and the headlines, there was still something worth saving. And in the quiet mornings when the sunlight spills across the kitchen table and they reach for their coffee at the same time, brushing fingers and smiling without thinking, it's clear that what they have now isn't naive love. It's conscious love, scarred, tested, intentional. And maybe that kind lasts longer than the fairy tale ever could. And if this story hit you in a place you weren't expecting, if you've ever had to choose between walking away and fighting for something that still had a pulse, then you already know this wasn't just about them. It's about growth, it's about accountability, it's about love that gets tested and either breaks or rebuilds stronger. So tell me this, would you have stayed, or would you have walked away for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear where you stand, team forgive or team leave. And if you're rocking with real, raw, unfiltered stories like this, stories about redemption, heartbreak, power, and choosing yourself, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, this conversation is far from over.